Fallout from the July jobs report, the U.S. adding 255,000 jobs last month. Certainly investors are cheering, as we mentioned a moment ago, but Mr. Trump just hitting back. He has said that the picture painted by the Democrats is not a reality for most Americans. So that sets up our first of many debates today. Democratic strategist Christy Setzer is with us. Former Bush 43 assistant Ron Christie is with us. So it's Ron Christie and Christy Setzer, making it about as confusing for a Friday anchor as we possibly could. But Ron, let me start with you. If you're Trump, I thought he dropped the ball on that GDP report. He could have picked up on it, instead got caught up in the Khan family controversy. That was a poor report, a sluggish economy. Now we get a jobs report that's actually pretty good. So is this more bad news for Trump? How do you read it?
I don't think it is. Good afternoon, Connell. I think Donald Trump, you're absolutely right, dropped the ball. If you look at the first quarter growth revised down to 0.8% GDP, second quarter 1.2%, Mr. Trump can paint a very strong picture and say the Obama-Clinton economy is not working. Americans aren't feeling this supposed economic recovery. And frankly, if you look at the 94 million people that are out of the workforce, the unemployment rate should be about 10% rather than 4 point something. So Mr. Trump, his advisors need to get him to focus on the longer picture, the broader picture, which is that Obamonomics, with Hillary Clinton being the third term of it, just isn't working.
Okay, Christy, what do you say to that argument that Ron is making, which should be, you would think, the Republican argument, but we don't know what Trump is going to do. We'll talk about it in a few minutes about this speech for next week. Obviously, the polls have been a mess for him this week, but can he make some ground on the economy? To be fair, he does poll pretty well still when you ask people about the economy. Should Democrats be worried about that or no?
No. I mean, again, in theory, he should be able to make some sort of an argument. But look, for years, Republicans have been saying, when we've had month after month after month of good jobs news, they're looking for the bad in it. And they're saying two things. One, they're saying, well, that's not the real unemployment rate because the labor participation rate, is lower than it should be. Well, we're seeing that tick up. We're also seeing the unemployment rate 4.9%. Again, that's basically full employment. You look at the stock market, and those sorts of indicators, over 18,000.
Wait, so
we are getting
argument
to a place where people are saying that the economy actually is quite strong, even if you look well below the 255,000 jobs from last month, which obviously is very, very good.
So you're making the 4 more years argument, Christy, essentially, because Ron says that won't.
Yeah.
So continue the Obama policies. That works for Hillary.
There are two things, right? One, yes, continue the way that we've been going because right now Obama's favorability ratings are higher than they've been in a number of years. He's obviously doing quite well. But also, if you look at the counter to that, Donald Trump has an extreme vulnerability right now on the issue of outsourcing. Hillary has gone after him very strongly on this in recent days.
On making his stuff overseas?
Talking about, correct, yes, talking about it, making his stuff in China, Bangladesh, et cetera. That is going right at the heart of, white working class voters that are his
the group he's supposed to be targeting. Okay, Ron, now, as you started to say at the beginning, it's almost like you, if you're a Republican, want to go back to that first report we referenced, which is overall economic growth, and say, yeah, okay, jobs are coming back a little bit, but the economy, the economic growth is still sluggish at best. We have like 1% growth here.
That's exactly right, Connell. If you look, this will be the first president of the United States since 1949 not to have 1 year of 3% GDP growth. 3%. We haven't seen it in the Obama administration. We won't see it in the Obama administration. And what is Hillary Clinton offering us? She's saying that she wants to raise taxes on those who are at the top of the income level. And she's offered nothing more than more stimulus, more government, more spending, when we know that if you decrease the amount of regulation and allow small businesses to flourish, that's how you get economic growth.
Do you think the argument, though, about Trump making his stuff overseas that Christy was talking about, do you think that that hurts him and makes it more difficult for him to articulate what you're talking about?
No, because again, it's Hillary, from one Christie to another Christie, I'd say that this is Hillary talking about what she's going to do when we've already looked at what President Obama has done, and it hasn't worked for the last 7.5 years.